Between 1986 and 1994, a shadow fell over Paris. A series of brutal attacks, including multiple murders and assaults, were committed by an elusive figure known to witnesses as the Pockmarked Man. His crimes were marked by extreme brutality and careful planning, leaving investigators baffled. The killer seemed to have an insider's knowledge, and a chilling theory began to circulate among detectives. The perpetrator might be one of their own. The attacks began in 1986 with a young 8-year-old girl who was assaulted in her apartment building's elevator. The girl survived, but less than a month later, 11-year-old Cécile Bloch was not as lucky. She was raped, stabbed, and strangled in her building's basement, her body later found wrapped in a carpet. In 1987, the violence escalated with the gruesome double murder of Gilles Politi and Irmgard Muller. Both victims were bound, tortured with cigarette burns, and strangled. After another assault on a 14-year-old girl in 1987, the perpetrator seemed to vanish, only to resurface in 1994. That year, he abducted and raped an 11-year-old girl, Ingrid G. That same year, 19-year-old Karen Leroy also disappeared and was later found murdered, a crime authorities attribute to Vérove. For years, the crimes remained unsolved, and the killer remained a ghost. But new advancements in DNA analysis would change everything. By 2014, a determined judge, Natalie Turkey, took over the investigation. She pushed the long-held theory that the killer was a former or serving member of law enforcement. Behavioral analysis, witness testimonies, and the killer's use of police paraphernalia all supported this hypothesis. The investigation narrowed down its focus to gendarmes who were stationed in the Paris region during the 1980s and 1990s. Investigators compiled a list of 750 former officials and began preparing to collect DNA samples from each one. On September 24th, 2021, the long-dormant hunt reached its conclusion. François Vérove, a retired police officer, received a summons to provide a DNA sample. He immediately fled his home, and his wife reported him missing a few days later. Vérove traveled to a coastal town in southern France, where on September 29, 2021, he took his own life. He left behind a note to his wife, confessing to being a great criminal who committed unforgivable deeds until the late 1990s. After his death, a DNA sample from his body was taken and compared to the evidence from the crime scenes. The results were unequivocal. The man who had served in law enforcement for decades was the Pockmarked Man. François Vérove's own past, now exposed, cast a dark light on the man behind the crimes. Born in 1962, he was just 10 years old when his mother died. The loss had a profound effect on him, and he was sent to live with his grandparents. He later confided in a psychiatrist that he had been abused by his father at the age of 10. This trauma, combined with the instability of his home life, left him deeply scarred and prone to violent thoughts. He developed a fascination with graphic horror films as an outlet for his inner turmoil. Despite his difficult past, he joined National Gendarmerie in 1983 and later the National Police. He was known as diligent and reliable, maintaining the facade of a normal citizen for years. He even appeared on a television game show in 2019. Vérove's suicide brought a dramatic end to a 35-year manhunt, but left many questions unanswered. His vague confession deprived investigators of the chance to fully interrogate him about his motivations or to identify any additional victims. The revelation that a respected former police officer was the serial killer shocked France. It prompted a national conversation about police oversight and accountability. The full extent of his crimes remains unknown.